It began in 2018 when Donald Trump walked away from the Iran nuclear deal, a deal that was working, that was protecting America's interests, and that was stopping Iran from developing a nuclear weapon. We are in the midst of a crisis with Iran today because Donald Trump decided to tear up the Iran nuclear deal, to walk away from the agreement. Now, he went out and said it's because of the deal that we're in this crisis, when in fact it's exactly the opposite. And the best way to know this is just to compare how things were when the deal was in place to how things are now that the deal is no longer in place. Under the deal, Iran's nuclear program was in a box. It was frozen. Under the deal, there were no rocket attacks killing Americans in Iraq. Under the deal, America was leading the world in the fight against ISIS. Today, Iran's nuclear program is moving forward. They are getting closer to a nuclear weapon. Today, Iran is attacking shipping in the Gulf and threatening the rest of the region. And today, Donald Trump is sending thousands of troops to the region, raising the possibility that we end up in yet another war in the Middle East. When you're in a crisis like this, you really want to have allies by your side. And historically, one of the amazing assets that America has been able to bring to bear in any conflict has been strong allies, strong democratic partners who had their own capabilities, who could stand shoulder to shoulder with us. But in this crisis, America is standing alone. Why? Because Donald Trump has spent the last 3 years trashing our NATO allies, telling the rest of the world that they can basically go take a hike. And now those very same allies and partners are putting out statements where they're calling on both Iran and the United States to de-escalate, where they're saying a pox on both your houses, where they're basically putting Iran and the United States on the same plane. What an amazing thing to come to pass, that our NATO allies and other key partners around the world have essentially lumped the United States and Iran together and want both of us to calm down, want both of us to back off. That is not a situation any American president should want to find themselves in, and yet Donald Trump has helped create that situation, not just through the actions he's taken to help drive this crisis forward, but also through the past 3 years of attacking, undermining, and belittling the allies who could be so much of an asset to us in a crisis like this. Diplomacy with Iran is not easy. I know. I negotiated with the Iranians. I sat face to face with them over the course of many years. And this is going to be a painstaking, difficult process. But diplomacy is a heck of a lot better as an option than the current options that the Trump administration has pursued, which has been a path of provocation, escalation, and violence. And that is going to get us nowhere good. So let's get back to diplomacy, because that is how we ultimately secure America's interests.